My last video, I didn't mention this, so I want to mention this now. If you saw the last one, there's an important part here with the alarm system, and it is this piece right here. Okay, and that is known as the alarm hook. So right now, the alarm set button is pushed in, and that's pushing the vibrator arm off of the coil. So when I set the alarm, I pull this out. Now, what is to prevent the alarm from sounding when I pull this out? You see that the vibrator arm is dropped down to the coil. The answer is the arrestor hook. If it's not set to go off, the arrestor hook pushes the vibrator arm off the coil, and that's how it works. And that arrestor hook is going to drop when it gets to the point where the alarm is supposed to go off. So you see it drop the vibrator assembly at that point. So I just wanted you to be aware of that. You may need to make adjustments to the vibrator arm in relation to the arrestor hook to get the alarm to work correctly. So now what we're going to do is we're going to set the alarm, and the way we do it is we put the face back on, and then we take the alarm set hand, and what we want to do is put it on facing 12 o'clock. And this can be kind of tricky because it's so low down there. If you've got a tool like with your drill, it looks like this, you can take the bit out of it and use this to help you seat it down in there. So we're going to put that in at 12 o'clock, and then we're going to take the hour hand, and we're also going to put this on at 12 o'clock. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to check for conflict, and it doesn't look like there's any conflict there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the alarm hand until it arrives at 2 o'clock. I have to do it by turning the alarm set knob clockwise. So as I turn it clockwise, you notice the alarm set hand turns counterclockwise, and I'm going to bring that to 2 o'clock. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to advance the hour hand to 2 o'clock. I have to do that with the time set knob. With this kind of setup, a lot of the setups, Telechron, but not all of them, you have to pull back on the time set knob to engage the gears. And what we want to do with this one is turn counterclockwise. So when we pull this back, we turn counterclockwise, it advances the hour hand. And what we want to have happen is when that hour hand gets to where the alarm hand is, we want to hear that popping sound of the alarm tripping. And you hear that pop. And that's pretty much as close as we're going to get it. So what that means now is that the alarm is set for whatever time that we set it to. So what we can go ahead and do is we can add the hour hand, and we want to do that at 12 o'clock so that the relationship between the minute hand and the hour hand is correct when it's keeping time. And then add the sweep hand, the second sweep hand as well. And then check for any conflict between the hands. I'm not seeing any conflict, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to advance the time and make sure that there's no conflict between the minute hand and the hour hand, and there isn't. So that's good. Okay, so our next step is going to be to put the lens back on the clock. And I bought these, really, they were cheap. It was like 50 pairs for $5 or something off of eBay. But I wear these inspection gloves. They're not good quality at all. They don't need to be. The only thing I use them for is placing the lens that I've cleaned back on the clock. And I do this because what I don't want is a big fat fingerprint on the inside of the lens when I give everything back together again. So I'm going to take one last look, make sure that I don't see any hairs or fingerprints or anything like that, and then I could put that back on there. And next we have our bezel that we'll add to hold the lens on. And when I took this off, I only bent these two. These two are still in position. So what I've got to do is slip this on there, find the place where these two would go in, and then we get the others over. And what we're going to do is just push on a tab to hold it in place. Now, you notice I'm touching the lens here with my fingers. Well, the only reason I wear the inspection gloves is to prevent fingerprints from the inside. If I have fingerprints on the outside, I can just wipe them off. If they're on the inside, I got to take this all apart again. All right, so there we go, and we've got the whole thing back together again. So the next thing is going to be to put the movement back into the case and test it.